Three, two, one. Hey, yo, how you doing? I'm Sunny Sekhon, love coach, relationship expert, author, and a host and guide to many people that are on their journey of finding love. The reason why I'm qualified for this is because of my own journey. And today I want to make a very special video for you. This is what I call my confessions. It's my confessions of life, of things that I've gone through problems, through issues, and how I've been covering up a lot of the deeper issues inside, what I've been doing to distract myself, how I've been forming a different me, and showing up in a way that was toxic and that was causing problems and taking me out of harmony and really wanting to create the life that I want to create. It's been a 7 year process for me of healing, or even longer, around like 2014, 2015. I started my journey. And it was because I had so much pain at that time, because pain was the key thing that helped me to push forward and be able to create a better life. Through the pain, I started finding more spirituality. I started finding more leaders to learn from, to develop, and also to heal whatever pains I was going through in my life. Over this next hour, this 60-minute program that we're doing here, this documentary, I want to go honest and be rawsome with you and share with you the truth, share with you what's been going on in my life and how it's impacted me in a way that it's caused me to choose alcohol. It's caused me to argue and fight with people. It's caused me to be aggressive in the past. It made me be a certain way where it wasn't truly who I was. However, it was like an add-on from all of the things stacking up one after the other on top of me. And then as a result of that, I would try and break out and act a different way. And because of that, I started acting rude, disrespectful, toxic. I had like red flags all over me. I was like a walking red flag machine, right? Because I had so many inner issues. And throughout my journey, I've been healing these issues. And this is what I'm going to be sharing with you over this 60 minutes. So, what I want to do is I want to encourage you to go and make yourself a cup of tea, pour yourself a glass of wine, get a notepad and pen out. Do something that's going to help you feel comfortable, because through this process of me sharing about myself, I would also like for you to actually be able to heal parts of yourself. I want you to realize, okay, maybe I've been showing up in this way. Perhaps these things have impacted me in a way, and I've been covering it up rather than seeing the truth for what it is internally. And this is the reason why I'm making this video. Through courage and vulnerability and openness, this is the reason why I'm making it, so that hopefully you can get some value from this. If there's one takeaway you can have that may help your relationship, your love life, anything at all, if there's one thing that can come from this, I'll be so grateful and so happy, because this is where real transformation comes from. It comes from us being open. Just take a deep breath in. Sometimes, well, that's what we have to do. We have to just take a deep breath in and just be open, right? And just know that over this 60 minutes, we're going to get through whatever we need to get through together. We'll be able to work through any of these issues to resolve it and to be better. And that's what I want for all of us, because inside of us, we all have greatness. Inside of us, there's this strong light, but it's just covered up sometimes. So today we're going to unlock it. So pause this video, go make yourself a cup of tea, go get your pen, go get whatever you need to get, and pause, hit pause right now, in order for us to be able to connect and go on this journey and feel good. Have some water, get a blanket, whatever you need. Put this on and enjoy. Hit pause, and I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you got your tea, your water, your wine, your blanket, your pen and paper. And now we're going to get into it. So I remember when I was first starting off, and some of these lessons you're going to learn here are going to be life transformational, as it's been for me. I started in a council estate. And for those of you that are not within the UK, council estate is a area where it's like full of benefits. And in the US, you get coupons. But I started in a very low state. And we had to rebuild wealth, we had to rebuild relationships, we had to rebuild healthy habits, which were not installed within us. And over this process, I've made generational change. This generational change has been breaking the chain from above. It's happened in the past. I've been breaking that. And this is why I was chosen to do the healing for my family generation and the others that are around me. Because now I have a life that's committed to healing and helping and making a difference to the world. And the path that I choose and that was chosen for me, I don't know which one it is, that was chosen for me, is the path of relationships and helping love come in. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to go through a lot of these pains in order to be able to help and understand to a intense amount, to understand where these issues are forming from and what's really going wrong. It's taken years and years and years of training. So let's start from when I was earlier on. So I remember it was around 10 years ago now, I was working in corporate finance. And when I was young, I thought corporate finance is everything. I thought this is life. Wear a nice suit, have a nice tie on, look good. Oh my God, this is all I wanted to do. And I'm from a place called Nottingham within the UK, which is almost in the middle of it, right? And the dream was if I could work in London. Oh my God, London, Canary Wharf. I have made it in life. If I've done this, that's it. I'm going to die a happy man. So then I went on to my journey. So I started with university. I graduated with 2-1 from accounts and finance. And it was amazing. A lot of good studies, a lot of amazing friends that I met, and a big drinking culture. I was drinking a lot on the weekends and enjoying life at that level. I then went into contracting within corporate finance, and that served me really well as well. The money was amazing from a young lad earning good money when actually I didn't grow up with that type of money. I never had it when I was young. I didn't see it around me. So this actually pulled me in. And I thought, oh, this contracting seems so amazing. This could be the rest of my life. I'm happy with this. But what happened was I was working for a company where they didn't respect me. They didn't respect people. It was a fear-driven company. They were passing down fear from the top to the bottom. Every month, you got deadlines, you got criterias, you have to force people to work. And the love and the connection and making this organization fun to work for was missing. So people were driven and motivated by fear. And write this down. People are always driven by two main factors. One is by pleasure, one is by fear. Me as an individual, I'm driven by pleasure. All right. And the reason why is because fear doesn't really control me, where some people it does. So in some of these organizations are very smart. They know that majority of people are driven by fear or some are driven by pleasure. So they match that really well. So here's a good question that you can ask yourself right now. And this is going to be interactive, okay? So here's a very good question to know if you're motivated by fear or if you're motivated by pleasure. When did you last buy your car? Or if it wasn't a car, when did you last buy a phone, a new phone? And then the question is, why did you buy that phone? Did you buy that phone because your old phone was so bad? It was breaking down all the time. It wasn't working. And the memory, the storage, the camera was just terrible. So you had to upgrade. Because then you're motivated by pain, and that fear of having it there, the pain. Or is it you're like, hey, I just want the best phone. I just want the best car. I want to drive that luxury car. If it's A or if it's B and you're driven by the luxury car and the fun stuff, or you want the latest gadget, you want the latest phone, you're more driven by pleasure. If it's a pain, you're more driven by pain. And the reason why that's so important to know is because we can understand what motivates us in life. So for me, when I was in corporate finance, the pain, the fear didn't motivate me because I'm driven more by pleasure. If they told me, Sonny, you know what? You do this and you're going to have a great month of work. It's going to be amazing. X, Y, and Z is going to work out for you. And you hit your target and we continue in that process. I would have loved it. But unfortunately, because it was fear driven in that first job, I hated it. But it was great because it taught me strength. It taught me resilience. It taught me that actually this is not how I want to treat people in the world. This is not how I want to run my organizations. This is not how I want to help and give back. So that job actually helped lead me into the path that I'm doing now, because I was so sad in that job. I got depressed. I got severely depressed. I was having sleep paralysis. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's when you're sleeping and 1 minute you're woken up by a nightmare and you're like, ah. And the reason why is because your subconscious mind is trying to tell you, come on, break out of this nightmare that you're living in. But you can't see it because you're living in it day to day. So my subconscious mind was telling me this. I was smoking weed back then, not too often, just on the weekends. But the environment I was smoking with were negative, and that was getting into my head. So I was like picking up all this bad information inside of my brain, inside of my mind, hanging around with people that had toxic patterns as well. And I was down. I was feeling so low. Although I was getting paid really good money, although I was living a job that and doing a job that I really admired and wanted to do, I was just sad, which helped me because then I had to pick up a book. And the book that I picked up was a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Because the environment that I was in and the company that I had, they kept calling me an introvert. Suddenly you're an introvert. Oh, you're too quiet. Oh, you know what? You never talk. They didn't respect or appreciate. Sometimes silence is nice. And because they used to position that onto me, I used to feel that. I used to feel like I'm not good enough to be around these people. I'm not good enough to be socializing. I used to recluse because I used to hide away, and I used to believe their images, their thoughts that they had of me. I used to actually start believing them. There was one day I I left hanging around with them and I went to another party. And as I was at this other party, I told this guy, yeah, I'm an introvert. I am. Because I started believing what information they gave me. And as I started to, I was sharing with him, yeah, I'm an introvert. And he was like, are you off your head? You are an extrovert. And I was like, no, I'm not. He was like, Sonny, come on, you're the one of the most social people I've met. One of the most kindest, loving person I've ever met. I was like, no, you've got the wrong Sonny. Has that ever happened before where sometimes life has come out and been beaten away from you? But that's what happened with me. I was like, you got the wrong Sonny. And he was like, no, Sonny, you are that guy. I see it inside of you. And it took one moment for somebody to see my greatness and remind me of it. That I came back and I was like, maybe I am that guy. Or maybe I used to be more of that guy. So I picked up the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And if you read it, drop it into the comments. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend buying it, especially wherever you are in life. It's an incredible book to help you to connect with others, to connect with yourself, and to bring out that better side of you. So I picked up that book and I started reading that. It took me out of that darkness, took me out of that pain, took me out of where I was, because I started to grow and learn. Because whenever you're stuck and you feel like you can't grow anymore, you can't get out of anything, like when life was so hard and life was difficult, I'm not here to get my violins out. I'm here to share with you, like, I was depressed and I couldn't change my focus, which is a really important thing for you to do. Change your focus. I couldn't because I didn't know how to. So when I started to read a book, it helped me change my focus. And then it started to give me hope. I can reignite that person that's already inside of me. So when I was depressed, my shoulders were down, my head was down. I couldn't keep eye contact with anyone. And it was just pulling me and pulling me away. And because of that, I would act rude, I would act disrespectful because I was so low that I would drink. And as I'm drinking on the weekend to escape my world, I was a different person. I was covering up who I was. And what I thought was me being confident and fun. It was only fun because in my real life, I was so low. I was holding on to so much shame. I was holding on to these negative thoughts about myself. And I had people around me that were projecting their negativity onto me. And I was consuming it. I was like, okay, give me that negativity. I can take it. But I did not know how much it was affecting me and hurting me. You know, it almost really ruined my relationship. It ruined at some point, I had the worst relationship with my family, with my mum, with my brother. I I was broken as a human. My soul was destroyed. To be honest with you, I didn't really know what a soul was back then. I thought I thought this was just life. Life is shit. And we just have to get on with it. That's what I thought. So I take these deep breaths in. It's a shamanic way of healing. The shamans, they realize that the breath, the prana, the mana, it's a connection. And when we're holding stuff in, we hold it intense. So I have to lay out. Because I went on so many painful journeys when I was starting off. And there's a book called Your Soul's Plan by Robert Schwartz. And what they talk about is he used to also work in corporate finance. As he was working in corporate finance, he was really struggling in life. And his struggles led him to go to a psychic reader. A psychic reader did some soul searching for him and connected with his soul. And Your Soul's Plan says that sorry, Your Soul's Plan says that we come to this earth with a mission and a plan that's already written. We put ourselves in difficult situations so that we can learn and become better within ourselves, so that we could become a better human, a better father, a better wife, a better person. And we have to learn these lessons in this life, as in previous lives, they never worked for us. And when I realized that and I truly understood that concept, it blew my mind. Because instead of blaming the world and blaming the people that I was with, I started going, wow, you're a teacher to me. You were meant to teach me how to become stronger. Thank you. And I started thanking the people that came into my life, that hurt me, that wasn't in my life. I started thanking them. I started saying, I love you. Thank you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on this journey. I wouldn't be able to help others. I wouldn't be able to understand other people. I wouldn't be able to care about the world if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to go through that pain that you've been through and be able to heal it and tell you from the bottom of my heart, tell you from my soul that you're going to be fine, that your life is going to be incredible. I wouldn't be able to do that because I wouldn't have been able to be there. And when you go through these amazing things and these powerful things and these painful things, it gives you strength within, a willingness, a strength that you can overcome obstacles, that you could be there for others if you choose to. And that's what it taught me, that my soul had a plan to go through pain, so that when I go through this pain, when I get depressed, when I go down, I can get over it. And then also I can help people that are stuck in that position. I can help you shift from where you are to where you need to get to, so that you can create a beautiful life, so that you could be more than the limitations that anyone ever put onto you, so that you can truly become the best version of you. And not for anyone else, but for you to enjoy this world, this life, so that you can be the creator of this life. Because before I wasn't the creator of this life happened for me. This life was happening to me. It was impacting me. It was hurting me. I was going through pain and I didn't see why or what was happening. I was still the creator of that pain. I was still there. It was what I was tolerating within relationships. It was what I was tolerating from other people. It was how I was showing up, how I was valuing myself. I didn't value myself. I had no value for who I was as an individual. So that means that I would apologize all the freaking time. All the freaking time. I would say, sorry. Whose fault was it? It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault that I apologized. Someone else's fault. It was their issue. They were angry. They were rude. They were annoyed. And I would apologize. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Actually, I know why. I'm going to share with you in a bit. But I had no self-value. So I was taking on too much for other people. Becoming a pleaser, many people are aware of this. And because of that, no one did value me, because the image that I was projecting out to the world was of low self-worth, so low self-value. So humans are very intelligent. And what we do, we pick up instantly. Oh, you're showing me low self-worth. Oh, that means you don't value yourself. Okay, I'm not going to value you. Very easy. Yeah, very easy. Because the brain, two jobs for the brain I'll just share with you. One is to avoid pain. So it helps us survive. Second one is move us towards pleasure, right? So the part of us that wants to avoid pain is the survival part of us. In that survival part of us, is trying to say, how can I survive as fast as possible? And in this, our brain's saying, I need to survive, I need to survive, I need to get over this. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because I want you to survive to a better life so that you don't go through pain, so you don't have to suffer, so you don't have to be hurt every night, that you don't have to cover up your issues until they cause a tumor or illness. This is where I'm helping you. This is why I'm sharing so that you can overcome whatever issues are coming up inside of you. And sometimes you feel that pain inside, breathe it out. Let it go. Because when we let it go, when we let go of that pain, we can start concentrating on what's important to us. Because that part of our brain that's still trying to survive is holding on to their memories, then traumas, then pains, because it's saying to us we haven't taken the lessons from them in order for us to move on, in order for us to become better. So people come into your life to teach you lessons. Work, you attract jobs and managers that treat you a certain way to teach you a lesson to become more. And when you take the lessons to become more, you become greater in this life. That's why we have obstacles. That's why we have problems. My wife was telling me about this beautiful quote recently. And it goes, I asked God for strength. So God gave me obstacles. I asked God for love. So God gave me people that needed help. I asked for strength. So God gave me pain. I just find that so beautiful because it's not always what we want, but God will give us what we need internally to become that better person. And this is why we come across these different people in our life. So for me, I was holding on to a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of pain from a younger age. And as I was holding on to this, it was consuming me, lowering me. You know, as I was in primary school, I was bullied as a child. And I think, why was I bullied for? Like, I had no reason to be bullied. You know what? I was like this kid that didn't believe in himself, that had doubts about who I was, that didn't know my own value. And then people started taking advantage of that because I was showing a weaker side of me. They started to tease me, bully me. And there's like a little 6-year-old running around on the playground trying to dodge all these bullies. And it was because I was trying to please them, trying to give them love, the love that I truly needed and wanted as well. And from a young age, I was trying to give it out to others, and they didn't value that. So they actually bullied me for it, which is fine because it was part of my growing. It's part of who I was. But when I think back to it, I think why? And actually, the reason why is because I was holding on to this low vibration, a low vibration of shame and guilt. And because I was walking around with that shame and guilt and that fear, oh, please don't bully me. That's why I got bullied because I was projecting it out. So life's about taking that accountability. Life's about saying, what am I projecting out? Life is about what am I holding on to in the past? And these things that I'm holding on to in the past, how are they affecting my life now to where I'm getting to? Because when I was still holding on to this pain of shame and guilt and fear, guess what? I found a relationship. I was 16. I was young. I was cute. I was like, okay, I'm going to find a nice relationship. I went to the posher area of Nottingham and I found this lovely girl that had a better standard of living. She had a better way of talking. And for me, if you don't know love languages, well, my love language is words. It used to be words. Now I'm almost more complete with it. But it used to be words because words were missing. Good words were missing from my life. So when I met somebody that can speak well and with elegance and kindness and love, oh my God, it took my heart away. I was there as a young 16-year-old boy, meant to be studying for my GCSEs. But I needed to escape from the pain from my house because in my house was never good words. It was always painful words. It was always evil and shouting and swearing and toxic energy, which I never was aware of. But all I knew was I did not like the surrounding. I did not like the feeling from when I was at home. And I had this beautiful angel, this girl that came into my life, and she would talk to me with love, with appreciation, with kindness. And I'd be like, wow, this girl is it. I was so grateful to have met somebody like that. And with that, I was so grateful, but I had no self worth within. I had no inner respect for myself. So, because I had no inner respect for myself, when I met this girl, I wanted to be with her. I wanted to spend time with her, but I also put her on a pedestal. I still lifted her up and said she was the one. And as I was saying, she was the one. She's incredible. She's everything. I gave so much love to her that I forgot to give it to myself. I forgot to respect who I was and value who I was. And instead, I put all of her needs first, that I would be over empathetic, over apologetic, over thankful for just being around her. And she was amazing because she gave me the strength to overcome the issues that I had in my life at that time. But then it was time to move on from this woman. And I was afraid because I was holding on. And my niceness, my kindness, my love just wasn't enough anymore because she also needed more now because her self respect grew and my self respect didn't grow enough. And because of that, she bloody cheated on me. Yeah, she cheated on me. And I remember being this, I don't know, 17, 18-year-old boy. I think I was around 18 maybe. And I was crying every night. Oh my God. I was in tears. I was in pain. I wish I had her back in my life. I wish she was there. She was she was incredible. So much love, so much kindness. I remember that and I thought, man, only if she was back in my life. And one day my brother goes to me, Sonny, you need to man up. I was like, what is this? I like being soft and crying and all that. But no, you have to man up. You have to be strong. If you want her back, ignore her. I was like, ignore her. I've been texting her to say how she is every day. I've been like messaging her to see if she still wants to connect. But it used to work in the past when I was nice to her. Why ain't it working now? She did stop valuing me. She stopped respecting me. In the past, she still used to respect me. But now she stopped respecting me because she cheated on me. And I was saying to her, I still want to take you back in my life. I still want you back in my life. So my brother said, stop now, leave it. Don't message anymore. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. So I go, okay, I'm stopping now. So I started to ignore her, started to play hard to get. And guess what? It worked. Oh my God, it worked a treat. She would ring me every day. I'd ignore the messages. I'd ignore the phone calls. She'll come outside of my boxing, my Thai boxing classes, crying, begging for me to be back in her life. I'll be, hey, you've lost us now, baby. This is gone now. I'm sorry. And because of that, she loved it because she wanted what she couldn't have because she also had bad patterns of relationships. And that's why we came into each other's life to learn, to develop. So I thought, let me give her a try again, but it was never the same. It never really worked out. At one point, I even got my own back when we were first talking. I started talking to other women, and then I felt good, but I was just covering up the pain that I had. And we ended in a very beautiful way. And still now, I still think she's an incredible person. She's not in my life, but I still wish the best for her and know how incredible she is. So then I learned a new technique. I said, if I'm hard and I'm a little bit hard to get with women, then they're actually going to respect me more. So then I adopted a new approach. Let me not be nice anymore and let me be hard to get. I started to learn about how to be a bit more hard to get, how to be a bit more ruder, how to not give as much love to people straight away. And my God, it worked. So I would be closed off. I wouldn't let anyone in. And this is where I went through my stage of being an avoidant individual. I was closed off, didn't let anyone in. As I did that, I was holding a barrier between me and them. And they loved it. Women loved it, right? Especially when you're young, like 20, 22. They was like, I want this more. I want this guy in my life because I was strong. I was showing them that I could be keeping you at a distance, but I still had love within me. So it was very attractive. Which took me into a stage of being a bit more of a player, a bit more like, if this is working, then good. This is what I'm going to do for the world. This is how I'm going to carry on. I'm going to be a bit of a player. Yeah, I don't mind because I was covering up that pain that I didn't resolve with my ex-partner, but also through childhood. And we'll get to childhood shortly. Let's take a deep breath in with me and out. Good. So then I became that individual. That was like, I don't need to be nice to women and nice to people. Actually, they prefer it when I'm not like that. However, I was hurting inside. My heart was hurting, and I truly felt alone in this world. I felt like no one was there. And even though I had like girlfriends, I was seeing people, because I didn't really let them in, I was covering up my pain that was still already there from before with alcohol, with drinks. And, you ask any of my friends back then, I was like so much fun to drink with. I have many toxic traits, but I'd drink excessively to overcome whatever was going on. Sometimes it will lead to aggression. Sometimes it will lead to fights and arguments. But because of that pain that was inside of my heart, that was hurting still, that was stinging, the alcohol was dimming it, it was covering it up. All these relationships were just covering up what I really had to deal with, but I couldn't go inside. I had to look outside to get it resolved because I didn't know that it's possible to look inside. How the hell do you look inside? I never knew about that. I never knew look inside your body and see where the pain's coming from. I never knew that. I thought this world is all outside. I look through my eyes. This world is one vision. But actually, it was the inside that was hurting and that was causing me the pain for the outside. So then I carried on with this technique. I carried on being this person. I was a bit closed off. That was hurt. I was a bit more fun. I was uplifting. I was drinking. I was covering up because other people that I was attracting in my life, they also had hurt in their life. And they were also covering up. So they loved being around me because I was helping cover up their issues while I was covering up my own issues. Because a lot of people are looking for distractions in the world to cover up the pain that's inside of them, the trauma, the hurt, the suffering. A lot of people are covering this up with other things. And I was a giver of the other things. I was still spreading light and joy, but in a way that I was covering up the other issues for other people. I was helping them as well as helping myself and thinking this is a good life. But then Sundays were coming. I feel so shit. I feel so down. I feel hurt. So I'm like, is this really what life is? That you drink excessively and you try and forget about whatever's going on in the world. Is that life? Man, this seems fun to me. Little did I know. Little did I know back then, right? So I found my partner, and this is what the good thing of corporate finance came in. I found my wife, and when I first met her, I still had these toxic traits. Although I looked good from the outside, although I would be able to quote some good information from other people, although I was on the right track, I was earning good money. I thought I was in a job that I could be in for the future. I met this woman and I thought my life's almost being complete. Yes, I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. But then patterns and toxic habits were still inside of me. So because it was still inside of me, 1 minute I'll be a pleaser, 1 minute I'll be cutting her off, pushing her away. We're fighting all the time, arguing all the time, talking to other people because the pain started forming within the relationship. So at the start of the relationship, we're talking to other people to try and cover up the issues that we actually had. Because when we would argue, fight, would make up in a beautiful way. And then that would be good. And we're like, oh, okay, maybe this is life. Because people will pass on poor beliefs about relationships to you. They'll say relationships are up and down, relationships are hard work, relationships are difficult. And you start believing them beliefs. I started believing them beliefs that, oh, relationships are meant to be hard. They're not all meant to work out that easily. Things are very difficult. I started believing that. And then I started forming that relationship. And then I thought, this is normal. But little did I know, you get what you tolerate. And because I was tolerating a hard relationship, a suffering relationship, a painful relationship, and I thought that was normal, that I thought this is the best it's going to get. That I thought, okay, incredible. This is who I am. This is a life. This is a relationship that I want. But actual fact, that was just a low level relationship, and I never knew better. I never knew more. And the people that were around me, they never knew better. They just accepted the circumstances that were given to them. However, inside of me, there was something that I was always fighting to be more, to be greater, to push for being the best I can be. So I would never settle for something that was causing me pain and agony. So when I'm with my partner at the time, 10 years ago now, 9 years, and my God, this was painful. Arguments, fighting, talking to other people. All my time, all my energy got taken into the relationship that I couldn't focus on business. I couldn't focus on anything else. And guess what? More drinking came, more drinking, more escaping from this world, more trying to escape and get out of my current level of thinking because I wasn't happy where I was. So I had to distract myself. And then back then there wasn't Netflix, but a lot of people use it now. When we're distracting ourselves from where we're at, the pain, the hurt, and we're doing other things to cover it up, it's not good for us. It's unhealthy. But I didn't know better. And my mum, she saw this woman come into my life, and parts of me was so happy. Parts of me was so loved. I was so grateful. The other side of me was upset and hurt. So I brought this woman to my house, and maybe a bit prematurely, but everything happens for a reason, right? Life is happening for us, not to us. So it happened how it was meant to happen. And I brought this woman to my house, and she was nervous. She was scared to meet a big family, a new family that loves their son dearly. That's the youngest in the family. That was a bit submissive and very kind and loving. I bring her over to the house, and as I do, she gets bossy. Because what do we do when we're in fear? We get bossy, we get controlling, we get negative. Because when we're in fear, we're trying to pass it on that fear. So a way that we do that is through negativity. We project it. So she's trying to command me in my own house. It's like, take that plate in. And my family see that and they're like, what the hell is the matter with this girl? What kind of boy is he? What kind of man can let this woman come into his life and start disrespecting him in that way? Who can do that? So they hated her. They hated her. Oh my God. I would get negative messages, threats, intense messages. If you don't leave this woman, you're off the mortgage. If you don't leave this woman, I never want to see you again. I'm like, wow, 1 minute this woman's bringing me joy. Next minute, my family want to bring me pain. What is going on? All I'm doing is working in a relationship, trying to do everything by the book. There's like this handwritten book I think people pass on. If you want to be successful, have a good job. If you want to be happy, have a good relationship. If you want to be doing this, go on holiday once a year. I was like, I'm doing everything. Tick, tick, tick. Why ain't I happy? These people were coming at me. My family were coming at me. They were so aggressive towards me. I was like, I'm so confused. That led me to that depression. It led me to that pain because I was so alone. To the woman that I loved, I don't know why. Like we had pain and everything, but when it was good, it was good. And I loved that woman. I saw the sweetness inside of her. I loved her. The woman I loved, I couldn't be myself with because I had to hide the pain that my family were giving me. To the family I came back to, they were saying that I was so bad. I was taking money from the family. I was like, what are you on about? How can you accuse me of this? What is this pain and suffering that you're giving to me? I'm like, I work. I work good money. I spend that money. What do you mean? They were scared. It was a game of control from both ways, and I was a puppet in the middle. I had no way out. How do I get out of this? Everyone else's fear was overtaking me, and I just went, hey, can I drink more? Can I go out on the weekend more? Can I have another drink, please, to cover up this pain, to cover up the hurt that I had inside of me? Until one day it was too much. That's when I talked to you about depression. And I went into depression when I just, it was dark. There was a cloud over my head. I just didn't know who I was. I just didn't know why I was hurting so much. I didn't know why people didn't respect me or want the best for me. I don't know why people like for me, I was just being kind. I was just being sweet and kind and as loving as possible. But that wasn't good enough. I remember thinking, what else do I need to do? I went to one of my best friends like a big brother to me. And I asked him, what do you think of this girl? My whole family is against me. They want my life to be bad. They're saying I'm the worst person in the world. Like, they're attacking me non-stop. They hate this girl. What do you think? Like, am I missing something? Am I blind to love? He goes, what I see in that girl is beauty. And when I see you two together, I see you as a happier person. And I remember that day that he gave me that advice. He was like a guardian angel as well in my life. I remember that day he gave me that advice. I trusted him. I went, okay, thank you. Because you saw the greatness, you saw the truth. And that was all I needed to hear to fight for the relationship. But it was my fault. Remember, I'm the creator. I was allowing people to treat me that way. I was allowing for my family for 20, 24 years prior to that to control me, to boss me around, to take lead over my energy. I was allowing that because I never knew better. So then now when I had to step up to be a man of my own, to be a leader, to make my own decisions, I found it so difficult because I couldn't do that. I couldn't make my own decisions because they were always passed on to me. Other people was always making them for me. So I was confused. I was confused. And because I was confused, I had to step into becoming a leader. Bring on 2014, 2015. I'm in depression. I'm in pain. And the universe has a way to give you the gifts that you need in your life. Bring it on. Boom. Look on my phone. Tony Robbins is coming to England. I was like, no way. Tony Robbins is coming to England. Are you kidding me? This is the best thing ever. I need to go to Tony Robbins. £250 for a 4-hour seminar. I was like, I am going. Me and my brother were there. We were going through this pain, this hurt, this sadness. We were both depressed. He was equally going through his own issues because this was how life was treating us. I went, forget this. I'm booking. We booked. Best decision of my life. £250, 4 hours, traveled to London. We got there. We caught a coach because financially we didn't have enough money. We didn't prioritize financially enough. So we caught a coach from Nottingham to London, went to this Tony Robbins seminar. We felt this man's energy. We was around greatness. For once, we was around greatness. And he taught us this simple technique. Put your posture right, breathe properly. Stop believing in yourself. Focus on who you are. I believe who I am. I know that I'm good enough. I am enough. We started telling ourselves, we are enough. Raise your standard of being, raise your standard of who you are, what you tolerate in life. We came out of that seminar. We almost touched Tony Robbins. He walked past us. It was almost a glimmer of touch. We felt his energy. His energy was contagious. It went into us. We booked for UPW straight after. That was in the next year. He was coming back to England. We were like, yes, there's hope. There's something that can get me out of this situation, this pain that we're in. There's something that can get us to think better than what we're currently thinking because you don't know what you don't know. So what we thought was okay was just one level, but you don't know what you don't know. And what I mean by that is there's so much more out there, so much more learning that we can do, development, and so much more greatness out there. But we never knew that. We thought this life was enough. This was just our life, our destiny, our kismet, our fate, however you want to say it. This is what we thought it was. However, then we stepped into the creator and we started going, there's more to life. There's more to who we are. And Tony Robbins helped inspire that. He opened it up inside of us. So that comes on to the next year. And now we are going, okay, we need to be in a better place. We need to be better. We had an experience with Tony Robbins and we started to develop more. I started becoming more of a man. I started to re-step into my leadership. I started saying, I am the creator of this world. I would lead, not follow. For all of my Tony Robbins people, you know that line, I would lead, not follow. I started to really step into more of my power. I told my family, I love this girl. I want to be with this girl. Now we're 2 years into the relationship. Now we're saying, I want this girl in my life. And they're still trying to come at me with all this negativity. And I'm pushing it away now. Because for a moment there, I had strength within who I was. I remembered that actually there's so much more greatness within me. And I see that in you. I know there's greatness in you. Whatever's your situation, whatever your pain, whatever's coming up for you, I know there's greatness within you and you are enough. And then I remembered that I am good enough. I can deal with these issues. I stopped that weird. I stopped everything else. I stopped covering up these issues. I started to get myself into a better state. I started to read. I started to enjoy life. I started to grow. It got me out of that depression. It got me out of that pain. It got me out of that suffering. I started going to the gym. I started working out. I started doing healthier habits. I realized I wasn't alone in this world. I realized that there was more people that also were hurt, that also were suffering, and they were also trying to become better. Where before I thought it was only me. I thought, why am I going through all this pain? Why is it always me? Why do my family have to be like this? And I realized that actually other people have had this. Other people are going through pain and suffering. And I realized that actually it was what I was tolerating. So then my tolerance level actually went up. I said, hey, I don't tolerate you being angry at me and rude to me. I don't tolerate you shouting at me for no reason. I don't tolerate you talking to me disrespectfully. If you want to do that, I'm not going to be a part of your life. Well, here comes next year, UPW, Tony Robbins comes to London. I'm actually excited because when there's arguments, when there's fighting in the house and my family on my rock, the family means so much to me. When there's pains in my relationship, when there's hurt, when there's talking to other people, when there's all these issues coming up, you know what I'm saying in my head? Tony Robbins coming soon. Tony Robbins coming soon. Tony Robbins. I'm so excited that I'm like, he's coming. I know there's going to be a transformation. I know my life's going to change. I know I'm going to learn and develop. I'm going to be better than this. So I keep studying. I keep doing it. And I have hope. That time comes. I'm talking about it with my wife, with my girlfriend at the time, saying, look, Tony's coming to the UK. She's like, oh, don't think it's for me. Okay, that's fine. We're still arguing. We're still in pain. We're still fighting within the relationship. I don't think it's for me. Okay, cool. Well, something has to change, right? Something has to develop. Then one day something must have hit her. God, the universe, hit her with thought. And she's like, I'm coming. I'm coming. I think it was FOMO. She got the fear of missing out. It's like, I'm coming to this. We go as a family, my mom, my brother, my wife. And we learn one of the best things ever. Take accountability for life. Take accountability. If you're in a bad mood, then you're in a bad mood. Now change your state, change your focus, change your energy, change your emotion. Because if you're in a bad mood and you're going to meet someone else, you're going to pass on that negativity to them. So what we want to do instead is we actually want to be able to step into a higher us and go, okay, why am I in a bad mood? What's going on? Take a deep breath in, lay out. Why am I feeling scared? Why am I feeling anger? Who am I really? I am love. I am kindness. Who do you need to be? I am a leader. I'm strong. Who do you really need to be in that moment to deal with these issues? I am a leader. We start stepping into that person. We start doing that more and more. You start taking accountability for your emotional state. I'm tired. I'm feeling ill. I'm feeling down. This is why I'm being negative and bitchy and rude. That's not good enough. If you want a high valued man, if you want a high valued partner, not even man, you want a high valued partner, you need to be able to take care of your own state because that is something of a high valued person. A high valued person don't get stuck in the low state that they're in from before and say, oh, I'm feeling down today. I'm feeling down. It's a bad day. No, a high valued person goes, I'm feeling down. Maybe I need more water. Maybe I need to go for a walk. Maybe I need to go for a jog. Maybe I need to listen to some upbeat music. Maybe I need to learn. Maybe I need to develop. Maybe I need to focus more on my business. What is happening right now in my life that's making me feel low? What do I need to do to be able to give, to be able to feel better? I'll tell you the secret. The secret is if you want to feel more love, give more love. If you want to have more wealth, give more wealth. Give to charity, give more money away. The secret's helped me throughout my life. If you want to feel happier, make one person happy. I swear to you, it is incredible. You make that person at Costa or anywhere else, you make them happy, you compliment them, you smile at them, you look at them, they'll get happy, you'll get happy. You're like, oh my God, this is contagious. I know some of you are saying, but you shouldn't do it to get. One of my spiritual teachers, Master Co, is an amazing human being. What he shared with me was mind blowing because there's not doing it. So I'm not going to give no joy. I'm not going to give no happiness. I'm not going to give to the world. Instead, I'm going to ask for everything to be given to me. Good luck. You try to take from the world will take from you. You try to take other people's happiness, the world will take your happiness. Then there's the next level up. I give, and I know it's going to come back to me. I'm going to give, and I know it's going to come back. Okay, wicked. Better than not giving. Better than not doing it. Okay. Now, the next level of it, the next level is you just give freely. You give, and the reason why you give so freely, you know it's going to return, but also you know you're giving back to the world that's been given to you, feeding, lifting up these plants, feeding these animals, giving us rain, sunshine, everything like that. This universe has been blessing us for so many years. Throughout our life, it's been blessing us in a beautiful way, and it's been given to us throughout our whole life. Now we just give back to that world because we know it's been given to us for so long. We carry on giving. Be the best, be the blessing to be blessed. And when we start doing that, we start giving more, we start putting ourselves out there. Now, relationships, love, everything turns around. Because the reason why you're suffering within the relationship is because you're focused on yourself. The reason why you're suffering in life is because you're focused on yourself only. Start focusing on others. Start focusing on there's a we, not an I. Start giving back to more people. Start thinking about others. And as you do, your life will change. Once I was coaching this woman, and she was an incredible woman in a beautiful relationship, but at the time it was painful. I said to her, "What's going on in your relationship? Why is the pain? He doesn't know how to make me happy. Mm. He doesn't listen to me. Mm. Oh, okay. I understand. I understand pain. Right, yeah. He is disrespectful. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long's it been like that for? Started last year. What happened last year? Well, we bought a house and the house mortgage payments were way over what we expected. Oh, okay. Yeah. The mortgage payments were so much. Okay. Tell me more about that. Is because I had to pay so much for the mortgage, I started getting stressed out. Oh, you started getting stressed out. Because and my husband, he had to take on a second job. Wow, he had to take on a second job. That sounds stressful. Yeah, it really has been. Mm. So they flicked back into survival mode financially, stopped giving to the world, stopped thinking about others. And then they started thinking, we need this right now. I need this. I am suffering. I am worried. I'm working two jobs. Oh, these payments, mortgage payments are too much for me. I can't handle it. So then they both went into I need this right now. I need that. Neither of them were focused on the other person. And for a beautiful relationship to work, you have to focus on your partner. Neither of them did that. I need more money. I need more joy. I need this. And they're both going to survival because when we're in survival, we think about because I have to survive. I have to do this. I have to make it through life. That's survival. Before they were in a thriving relationship, but then the new house, the new mortgage payments got them into this pillow. It got them into danger. How can we make these payments? Two jobs. I need to do this. Oh, I'm stressed. And this is what was causing the problems within their relationship. And the problem all came from they were focused on themselves. Not saying my husband's actually been working two jobs. I love this guy. He's doing it because he wanted to get a beautiful house for me. So when he's working them long hours, them long days, I'm going to make him a cup of tea. I'm going to make him food. I'm going to do something for him. I'm going to help bless his life so that his life could be happier because this guy is working two jobs for our life to be happier. Instead of seeing that, they say, oh, I want a man that's going to be there for me every day, that makes me happy, that meets my needs. Instead of actually seeing what they're doing, appreciating them for who they are. Because of that, that's where all the suffering came from. So write this down. All suffering comes from I problems. I need more. I want this. I. Instead of going, you know what does my partner need? And this is what conscious relationships are. And this is what we had to develop throughout the years is a conscious relationship. Because when we get conscious of the other person, when we start focusing on them, then that's when the relationship starts becoming beautiful. A conscious relationship is like going to a garden. And as you go to the back garden, there's weeds, there's no vegetables, no fruits. A unconscious relationship would say, I hate this garden. Ugh, it's disgusting. I'm leaving. A conscious relationship is when you go to that garden and you say, what does this garden need in order to create these fruits? these vegetables? What kind of plants does it need for it to become healthy? And you start watering it and nurturing it, and you start creating it to be better. This is a conscious relationship. And this is what we had to learn to create a better life. I was now becoming conscious of who I was, conscious of my actions. And conscious is a big word for saying aware. I became aware of the actions and the energy that I was putting into the relationship. I became aware of what I was doing wrong or right, or what I was tolerating within a relationship. So then now I set new boundaries. And boundary is just saying, this is what I stand. This is a standard that needs to be met or doesn't need to be met. And if you don't meet it, then I'm going to be annoyed and I'm going to be frustrated because you're disrespecting my boundary. So then I started setting clearer boundaries within the relationship. I do not tolerate you being angry and you projecting your anger on me to hurt me, to make me feel lower. I do not tolerate that anymore. So if you feel angry, you go deal with your anger, go for a walk, go do something, go sort it out. And you come back to me with a loving mood. And if you want to deal with the issues together, we deal with it together, side by side, but not a blame culture, not a attack. This is your fault. And also, what I had to take accountability for, I am not going to be a victim of my life anymore. I was not going to be a victim. Oh, the reason why I'm sad is because my family did this. The reason why I'm hurt is because my partner did this. I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm taking accountability. The reason why I'm happy is because I'm working on my future. The reason why I'm excited is because I'm learning and growing, right? I started taking control of it. So then I stopped saying I'm a victim for the world. I'm pain because of the suffering outside. I said, I am loved because of who I am inside of me. I am loved when I give love to others. I am loved when I think about someone I love. I am loved when I remember somebody or a moment in my life that was loving, and that brings me back to love. Then I stopped being needy. I stopped being a pleaser. I stopped doing all of these things because I took accountability for who I am, the way I show up for the world, the way I am in the world. And when I started doing that, I started having this strong stance within me. I do what I believe in, but I walk around with integrity. And integrity for me has been congruent with how I want to live my life. And there's been so many times in the past where we've all messed up because of the shame, because of the guilt that other people have passed on to you. I was holding on to guilt because actually I'm half white and never you knew that. I thought I was full Punjabi, but my family didn't tell me until later because they were holding on to this shame because actually they didn't want it to come out in the world. But however, you could still feel it. And I felt that from a young age. I felt embarrassed to not have a father, to not know who my father was. I felt embarrassed inside of me. And that's why I walk around as a young child in hurt, in misery, in pain, until I did this one therapy that really helped me. And I got trained into it called timeline therapy. And I've been trained in many hypnosis, therapy, NLP, life experiences, relationship mastery, all these things, Tony Robbins coaching, everything I've done, right? Because I had to learn about myself. But one day in timeline therapy, it went into my subconscious mind. It said, rise up, go back to the first experience of you feeling shame or guilt. Boom, I came back into it. I was in my mum's stomach. And it was that moment that I was in my mum's stomach that I felt shame and guilt and hurt and pain. Whoo! I was remembered this is why in life I've been covering up all of my behaviors, from being bullied, from drinking, all of these things, because I was carrying on this pain like a weight on my back of my back of shame and guilt. And this is why I was showing up in the world with toxic behaviors and painful behaviors. And I was like, this hurts, but I never knew what it was because it was in my subconscious. Your subconscious, like that shelf there with my book. But it's like the shelf there, that is the subconscious mind. And when you go into the subconscious mind, it just stacked pain. I had one shame, guilt, anger, had all this frustration there. And it was just working in the background. I never knew about it. I was just holding on to it like a rucksack. I was carrying on living my life, trying to be good, trying to have a good job, trying to have a good relationship, trying. I was trying my best, but it wasn't good enough because I was carrying so much weight. One little thing would trigger me. I'll get back into that place. I'll fall back down. And then we did timeline therapy. We went to shame and guilt. I realized in my mum's stomach, my mum was embarrassed that she was having a child with a different father. And all that shame and guilt went into that. And I'm being very awesome and honest here with you. And that vulnerability is sometimes still scary for me as well, but I have to be to help serve you best. And I was remembered I was there in her stomach and I felt embarrassed. And because of that, I came out as a child that was embarrassed, that was shy, that was holding on to so much guilt and shame, got bullied, got pain, carried on by being super nice, a pleaser, then got cheated on, became a dickhead, became a bit more bad. And then because of that, I carried on with living my life with more pain, with more hurt, and covering it up with other things like alcohol, excessive alcohol use, arguments, toxic behaviors, fighting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And sometimes we have to just draw the line to it and say, you know what? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive me for the past. I was learning, I was growing. I love you. I love everyone that helped me learn these lessons throughout my life. Thank you. Thank you for being there as leaders and being patient. And thank you for helping me grow. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I say that to every person that hurt me in life, every situation, everything I've been holding on to. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. If there's anyone that's ever been in your life that's hurt you, that's not been good to you, I want to assure and encourage you to do it. I'm sorry. I was still learning. They were still learning. We are all still learning. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for any time that I was rude, that I was bad to you. Please forgive them for any time that they were rude and they were bad to you. They were still learning. I love you. I love you for teaching me lessons. I love you for being part of my life. I love you for everything you've done. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me to become stronger. Sometimes painful lessons, sometimes easy lessons. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being hard. Thank you for helping me to become more. I remember with my father, I was so angry with him because he used to abuse my mum, and I had to go through the traumas when I was young and the pain of what I saw with her. So angry. How can a man leave 3 children? How can he not be there for us? And one day I had to forgive him. I didn't tell him I forgave him. I had to forgive him for me. I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being angry all this time. I'm sorry for holding on to it. I'm sorry for letting it ruin my life, but also the people that were around me. Because when I was holding on to the anger and the pain from him, I was also being rude and angry to other people without knowing. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for giving my power to you. You know, you've ruined so many years of my life, and I let you carry on ruining it. Please forgive me for giving my power to you because he had dark energy, which meant that he liked taking other people's energy. Please forgive me for allowing you and giving you more energy. I love you. I love you because you helped show me how to be a better human. You helped show me how to be a better man. You helped show me to love more. Thank you. Thank you for being the hardest teacher. Thank you for creating this man that I am now. Because if it wasn't for them circumstances, it wasn't for that pain, I wouldn't be the man that I am now. So thank you. And whoever needs to hear that, now is the time that we let it go. Now is the time that we draw the line. Good. Take some deep breaths in and out with me now, all right? In, out, in. If there's any areas of your body that feels a bit heavy, I just want you to take a deep breath into it. There you go. Anything around your heart. Take another deep breath in. Lay out. That's it. One more. That's it. Now, let's draw the line. Let's draw the line from who we used to be to who we are going to be. What's going to get you to the life that you want, the relationship, the love, the joy, everything that you need? Let's draw the line now. And we say the past is the past. What happened in the past, the pains, the struggles, whatever happened in the past, it's happened now. Let's let that go. We say we're drawing a line. As we draw the line, we're saying no more, right? No more. It's not happening anymore. We start saying that this is not going to happen. It is not going to impact our life anymore. So we draw a line. This is what happened in the past. This is what life was like before. This is what it's like now. This is how I'm going to show up. This is what I'm going to focus on. This is who I'm going to be. To create the life that I want, who do I need to step up and be? To create the love of my life, to create relationships, to create passion, to create joy, to create excitement. Who do you need to be? How do you need to show up in the world? To have a beautiful relationship, how do you need to show up? What you want is waiting for you. However, we have to first step into who we are to create that. Now, I'm going to ask you to come onto this journey with me, to be part of this strength, to be part of the creator of your life. Start creating love, joy, happiness, these higher emotions. Let go of that anger. Let go of that frustration. Whew, forgive it. Move it forward. Move it on. For those of you that need more help with that, contact me for Timeline. I'm one of the best in the world that does Timeline, and I will help you to get through that pain. We let it go, but now it's not about choice. What do we need to focus on? How do we need to show up in the world? What behaviors do we need to do that's going to create the life that we want? There's a great coaching formula. It's called Be, Do, Have. So who do I need to be? What do I need to believe about myself? What do I need to believe about relationships, the world, money, finance, anything? What do I need to be? What do I need to believe? If you believe the world is bad, guess what? It will be. If you believe the world is full of joy and love, guess what? It will be, right? It's up to you what you want to believe about the world. Who do you need to be? What do you need to believe? What do you need to do? What habits do you need to bring out of you? Do you need to start training more? Do you need to start giving more love, compliments, happiness to other people? Do you need to start giving more financially to start bringing more wealth into your life? What do you need to do? What habits would you do if you were living the life that you wanted? If you were in a dream relationship, the most beautiful relationship ever, where you're married to your best friend, where you're married to your soulmate, your most inspiring, happiest person, that person makes you smile and lifts you with joy. If you were married to that person, how would you act? How would you behave? What would you do to the world? What would you do in the world? Would you be giving love? Would you be thankful? Would you be living with gratitude? Would you be giving love to other people? What would you do? Right? I want you to think about it. Be, do, have. Because I know when I started doing that, I went from, okay, I believe I'm not good enough. I believe that I'm shameful. In timeline therapy, what happened was within the subconscious mind, I went and saw that same situation where I was in my mum's stomach. I felt shame and guilt. I felt my mum's emotions. I felt her suffering. I felt her frustrations. And then I went and I rose above it and I said, what positive learnings can I get from this? And the positive learning was, Sonny, you are the light. Sonny, you are the miracle. Sonny, you are here to change the world. And when I saw that, I saw myself in a new frame, a new meaning, a new identity. I had to create a new identity from the start. Actually, I'm a miracle that's here to change the world, rather than being a shame and embarrassment of the world. When I saw myself in that light, in that new way, guess what? That pain lifted from me. I went, all that shame, all that embarrassment, all of that lifted from who I was. I started showing up as the person that I am. I started showing up with love and being the miracle, being the blessing, changing people's life. Even if it's going Costa, I'm still changing their life, right? Even if I'm going anywhere in the world, I'm adding value to their world. And this is what life is about. How can we give more? So you need to change that meaning of who you are, your identity. If you're always saying, oh, I'm a I'm somebody that's bad in relationships, guess what? You will be. You need to now declare and commit. I am loving. I am a miracle. I am the person that's going to help other people, or I'm going to love more. I'm going to give more. I'm the most loving person you will meet. And there's a thing called love and strength. That's what I embody. I'm strong, but I'm loving. If you want to test me, I'm going to test you back. However, I'm going to love you unconditionally. It doesn't mean that you always have to be part of my life, but I'm going to love you unconditionally. That doesn't mean that I'm always going to choose to spend time with you, though, right? You with me? Good. So be, do, have. What do you need to believe about the world? What do you need to believe about yourself? You are enough. You are incredible. You are strong. You are loving. You are able to deal with any problem out there in the world. I believe that relationships are incredible. I believe that relationships are beautiful. You start believing that, you start creating better relationships, and the bad relationships, they actually shift from your life. They move away from your life without knowing they're out of it, and you are blessed. Now, what do I do when I'm this person? What do I do when I believe the world is beautiful? What do I do when I know that the world is incredible and people are loving? I give love. I have more openness. These are the habits that we have. Instead of being closed off, avoiding, and putting that pillar between the heart, you know, how I did in the past. Instead, we say openly, with vulnerability, with courage, with love. We express honestly. Now, I don't mean immature honesty. I'm just going to tell you about all your bad things, that are your problems. I mean mature honesty. I'm going to tell you about your greatness. And if I feel like there's an issue, I'm going to tell you about the issue as well. I tell you about both. We're going to step up to the whole new level of life, because when you feel like this is your world, you're the creator and you're helping it become a better place, you can be open, you can be free, you can actually start chasing, not chasing, sorry, wrong word. I don't like chasing. You can start going after what you want in life. You can start going after the gifts of life. You can start going after creating better income, better relationships, better love. You can start enjoying more of that life because you start becoming more of that creator. You're putting a higher energy into it. There's a great book from Dr. David Hawkins called Letting Go. For me, it's one of the most transformational books I've read in recent years, if not in forever. He talks about this energy levels that we have within us, and within each energy level it holds a different vibration, and these vibrations actually create the life that we want. So when we have a low vibration, like shame, guilt, apathy, fear, when we have these low vibrations, anger, life is more destructive, it's more painful, because we're chasing after that, we're trying our hardest to create this life, we're pushing ourselves, it's a force. That's what it describes it as. But when we let go of the pain, when we move on from the hurt, from the shame, from the guilt, from everything that's holding us back, and we start living with more courage. Courage is vulnerability. Courage is putting yourself out there. When we start living out of acceptance, I accept my past. I accept other people that are coming into my life. I accept that life is going to be beautiful from this moment on, as long as I take accountability for it. Then we start living with that, and we start finding love within the smallest things. We start finding the love for life, the love for food, the love for other people, the love for God's creation. We start finding love for everything that comes into our world. We start to open up a different energy. And as you can see there on the rankings there, there's like an energy force and field that comes around us. And at a lower level, it's 20, 50, 100. At a high level of love, we get 500. 500 is the energy that you want to be walking around with. Instead of walking around with anger, where you think it's better than shame, which it is, but it's still a negative energy. Instead of walking around with pride that I'm too good for everyone else, instead we go, actually, I love everyone else, and I know everyone's on their journey of growing and healing and connection. And as I'm starting to love more of life, I'm starting to find more loving people in my life, because love comes into your life easily when you let other people and you give love to others. Love will come and find you in a heartbeat. Okay, good. So this is from Dr. David Hawkins, a great book called Letting Go. He breaks this down in such a beautiful way, and I would love and encourage you to read it. I also do speak about it within my book, just a little drop. And this is what we're inspiring to do. This is what I'm on a journey now to do. So I want you to draw a line from who you were in the past, the pains, the hurt, suffering, the annoyance, the bad habits, and step into the new habits of being more conscious of what we're saying, becoming more aware of how we show up in the world. Instead, being more loving, forgiving, to actually be able to shine, to go and pursue your dreams. Whatever you want to achieve, you can get. You just have to put your focus into it, put your time into it, and put that right energy. Start falling in love with the process of learning and growing. Start falling in love with dating. You know how incredible dating is? Man, if I wasn't married, I'd be dating. Dating could be beautiful. But if you're putting that energy of, oh, not another wasted date and wasted time, guess what? You're putting frustration into that. When you put that low energy into anything, you're going to get low results. Instead, put, I love dating. And you start dating, you start finding more love in dating, and you start finding a beautiful relationship that comes into your life easily. And you start saying, I love relationships and I want to create a beautiful, loving relationship. Then you will create a beautiful, loving relationship. And as you do, life will start opening up. And anything that doesn't align with having a beautiful, loving relationship, then you need to stop them habits. If you have toxic habits, okay, forgive it, let it go. If you're rude, disrespectful, if you're always blaming, if you're always pushing it out to other people, from this day forward, commit and commit to look within. How can I develop? How can I be better to help resolve this situation? What can I learn? How can I communicate better? How can I love more? How can I be open to love? When we're closed to love, we're pushing it away. How can I actually go, well, I have faults, I have issues equally. I'm just developing, I'm learning, and becoming the best that I can be. And I trust that the partner, the person that comes into my life, is either going to be a lesson, or they're going to be a teacher, or they're going to be just my soulmate or my deep partner that I needed in my life. And throughout all of this, you can create love and joy. So, a great question I want to leave you with. I would love for you to ask yourself, when you're going to act a certain way, you're going to be a certain way. I want you to ask yourself this question: who do I become when I believe or do that? Who do I become when I believe I'm not good enough for love? Somebody shy, someone closed off, someone disrespectful. Yeah, okay. Maybe we need to say, I don't want to believe that anymore. Who do I become when I act like a bitch or rude? Who do I become? I become someone negative and disrespectful. And then we ask ourselves, is that in our highest good? Is that how I want to be? If the answer is no, then who do you need to be to become the person you want to become? I'm Sunny Sekhon, your guide. For those of you that come to these dating events, also your host, because these dating events are incredible. We're inspiring people to be conscious daters and to bring in a whole new level of themselves to date, to find love. And when they do, they find the right partner. And we've had so much success because of that. Just a little quick drop there, because I haven't spoken about that. But I appreciate you. I value you so much. Please do me a favor. If this helped you, please share it, because other people also need to see this. This is my confessions. This is me helping you to let go of whatever you're going through. I know you can get through it. I love you. I'm here for you. Let's create a beautiful life, a beautiful world on your terms. I love you. Please share it with somebody that needs it, whatever they're going through. I love you. Thank you.